It's December 19th, and while the sun is shining and before those winds start up again, I'm going to take you on a whistle-stop tour of the garden beds and show you what I've got growing in the kitchen garden in December 2020. Welcome back everyone. This is my third attempt at giving you December's garden tour, and every time the weather's changed quite quickly. So we've got a really blue sky at the moment, and I'm hoping I can get around the beds and show you what's still growing in December. So let's do it. So let's start with this bed on the end here, and this is one of the meshed beds. As you can see, I've got that nicely pinned down. And let's see if we can show you how the broccoli is doing. So we've got a purple sprouting broccoli in here. So it survived all those masses of pest damage we were having, and it's now a really healthy size and looking good. And then further down the bed here, here's the garlic that we planted last time, already up and running and looking really good. So this is the first time I've grown this variety of garlic, and we'll see how we get on this year. I love it at this stage because they're all really green, but of course they might get a rust attack because we've had a lot of rust in this bed, but we shall see. So looking good so far. And then the final row of the garlic is the elephant garlic, and those are up, as you can see, but they are in no way as big as the non-elephant garlic, so that's interesting. And then what you're seeing at the very back of this bed is that I've got some field beans in, if you remember me planting those last time. So what I've done is just created a little bit of extra protection for those field beans because they've just started coming up. So let me show you what's happening under that fleece. I'll remove this inner fleece layer when they start getting too big for it, but for now it seems to be working and they're looking really healthy, and it does lift your spirits to see beans growing up at this time of year. So we'll see if these get through winter, and hopefully I'll be able to show you what field beans are like when we get into the spring. So here's the second meshed bed, and we've got this Russian kale doing really well. Very happy here. It's not got any protection other than the mesh, which helps with the wind. And then we've got these little chard here for comparison with the ones under cover, so I'll show you those in a moment. And the golden chard is tiny and in no way harvestable. It's getting quite a lot of pest damage, so we'll see. I think it will still survive, and then suddenly it will take off probably later towards the spring when the light's better. And then the pink passion chard, looking a lot healthier, but still it's very, very small. So it's only about maybe 6-8 inches tall there. It's not really ready for harvest, but it does look very healthy, so I'm pretty convinced this one's going to be okay. And then behind here we have more brassicas, so more sprouting broccoli, and these are absolutely huge already here in December. So I'm not sure how this is going to be, but they're doing really well. So there's one of them. And then as we go around, you can see the second red Russian kale, also doing really well. And then behind it here is another purple sprouting broccoli. So they're getting towards the top of the netting, which is amazing. So I don't know how that's going to go. We'll have to see. Hope that I can keep the netting on, otherwise the wind will blow them over. Definitely recommend this red Russian kale because here we are in December and we've had lots of harvests off it. It's really robust. It's very nice. These little tiny ones are quite sweet. I think the colder it gets, the sweeter they get. And they're really beautiful as well. Look at these leaves. So I think this one is a winner with me, especially as I can grow it without using up that limited space I've got in the covered beds. So fantastic. Let's get this one covered up again in case the weather changes. And now for the large covered bed. That lovely hinges on it. This bed has been fantastic. You'll have seen from an earlier video that we've got a bit of buckling at the back, but I will definitely be making something similar or doing a good repair job on this ready for next winter because it is fantastic. So I did a big harvest out of this yesterday, and just so I can show you what's here, we've got some flat leaf parsley growing, and then we've got absolutely loads of chervil. So chervil is like an aniseedy herb, goes really well with fish. So I've already done a really big harvest of chervil, and I'm going to be making some butter and freezing it. So any dish where you might use fennel, this has got that same kind of anise flavour, and it's lovely, and it really likes growing in winter. And then here we have another red Russian kale. So this one also doing really well under cover. But actually, as you can see from the other bed, I won't need to grow it under cover in future. And I guess we'll make our final decision by the end of the winter and see what's survived and what's given us a good harvest. We've still got some rocket growing here, and then just harvested these lettuce yesterday, and we've got a really nice batch. So you get a bit more pest damage in winter, more slugs and snails if you suffer from them. So you tend to lose some of the outer leaves, and also they grow more slowly, which is why I'm growing so many in winter. So I've grown enough here, so I'm only taking 2 or 3 leaves at a time from each plant to give them a chance to grow back. And they are gorgeous. There's nothing like fresh lettuce in winter. How many times have I said that on this channel? But there really isn't anything like it, so they're absolutely lovely. So these are the red Grenoble, not looking very red at the moment. And then the winter density, the cos lettuce, has actually grown quite well this year, much better than last year. And then we've also got some winter marvel, I think mainly in the other bed actually, so I'll show you those in a minute. Chard still going strong, and definitely worth having a bit of cover for chard if you want to be harvesting it in winter. At least in this climate here in the south coast of the UK, I'm quite confident those little plants in the uncovered bed will survive, but what they're not doing is growing enough to harvest, whereas this golden chard and pink passion chard here, exactly the same seeds, planted at exactly the same time, are harvestable from regularly. In fact, these are ready for a harvest. I might actually use some of this pink passion chard and make a lovely jolly Christmassy quiche, cheer us up. And then on the end here we've got some more chervil and parsley and rocket, and again I've just harvested these. The mustard greens not doing so well. Most of it is actually eaten by slugs before I even managed to harvest it. So as ever, this bed is giving me lots of happiness. If you can get some kind of cover on some kind of container or bed, it's really lovely to do this growing in winter. So let's wrap them up again. Okay, so here is another salad bed, and more of the same, more of these beautiful lettuce. And this one here, that's red Grenoble. This one here is the cos winter density, grown much better than last year for some reason. And then on the end here we've got the winter marvel, and all 3 of these lettuces I've been picking leaves and harvesting all through winter so far. And then on the end here you can see we've also got more rocket. So lots of little holes, you get lots more pest damage in winter, but you still get a good harvest of rocket, and I did a massive harvest yesterday from both beds. So there is another greens bed, and I'd say even if you've only got a little terrace, most of us can afford the space for a 1 metre by 1 metre bed like this, and then just knock up some kind of cover for it, and you too could have something like this right here in the middle of December on a very cold day. So that's my kitchen garden tour for December. The weather has held and we're all done. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and take care of you and yours this holiday season, and I'll see you next time.